Coach Danny, thanks for the time. We'll start with opening thoughts on the game from you and then take questions.
Yeah, I mean, even though it was off a back-to-back, we knew they were going to be ready to play. Early start for us here at 11 a.m. Mountain, but, had a good first half. I just thought we got sloppy in the second half, lots of turnovers. They went on a little bit of a run there. We didn't pick the ball up the ground really well, so, definitely was not our best in the second half. We know what we have as a group. We just need to put together a full 48 minutes.
Tale of two halves. Two different teams showed up. We jump all over them, 9-4 at halftime, and then, third quarter we stopped playing. We're watching them, you score 9 in the first half and 3 in the second, struggling the face-off X, struggle clearing. I want to give my certainly credit to the Outlaws, but in so many ways we beat ourselves today, and that was disappointing.
Questions in the room?
Coach Dre from the Drelax podcast. Connor Schellenberger had a phenomenal day today, and he really stepped up for you guys. What's it been like seeing him continue to grow in this league now that he's had at least a season under him and stuff?
Well, I think the big thing for Connor, he's healthy. He's healthy. He had surgery in the offseason, groin surgery. He's 110%, and he's playing, pain-free, and his health is back. That's number one. But all of this is no surprise to us. We've seen it in practice. We've seen it throughout the season, and he is MVP caliber, no doubt about it.
Other questions?
So going through there, having such a great first half, what's your message to the team after this game, after having such an amazing first half and then coming out there and struggling in the second?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I'm not going to say a whole lot today. Those guys are pros. Those are grown men. We're going to watch the tape. I got to look at, it was mistakes on our part, just carelessness. We thought the game, we didn't play 48 full. We played 24 and fought back at the end. But in this league, you got to play 48 full, and we didn't. And, we got what we deserved.
Question?
Ryan from Denver Sports Betting. A lot of people are saying this is going to be the preview of the championship game. Did it kind of had that feeling? Is that who you guys are kind of expecting down the road to see again?
Yeah, I mean, definitely they're extremely dynamic team. I mean, you can see they can score in a variety of different ways. Ton of premier players on that team. With that being said, anything can happen in this league, so you really don't know who you're going to face. You're not planning for them in the championship game. You're just trying to focus on the next game. So for us, we're just trying to watch the tape during this week and get ready for Boston. And we're going to kind of take it 1 week at a time. And whoever shows up, we're going to be ready to play.
Questions on Zoom? Paul?
Coach, seeing Reed Bowering step up, have 4 points for you guys today. What does it mean for a guy who usually is on the back burner of the offense, setting picks, setting screens for other guys to get open, but to see him get on the stat sheet and really produce? What does that mean to you and your offense?
Well, he had the first 2 of the game, BTBs. So, do you draw that up? I don't think so. But Reed has been so consistent. He's been great. He's won that job. He's been a mainstay for us week in and week out, and you know what you're going to get with 98. So tough, so reliable. Made some plays when it came his way, and thrilled for Reed. Thrilled that he's enjoyed a great season for us.
Kyle?
Yeah, for both of you guys, Michael Gray steps in with the absence of Brett today at close D, and Kobe gets some run today. What did you both see from them for the defensive side of things? And Coach, for Kobe, who hasn't been able to really get consistent play time, obviously with so much talent on this roster, what did you make of Kobe's performance today overall?
I thought Kobe did well. Made some plays, didn't hurt us. I think that's always something you want to be aware of. You've had a long layoff. It's not necessarily the plays that necessarily help you. You just don't want to hurt your team. I thought Kobe played very consistent, very conservative, and did a nice job out there. But we're not the same team defensively without Brent Maycar. That is what it is, and got our fingers crossed that 43 will be healthy next week when we head to Boston.
Adam?
Yeah, question for Danny. It seems like the second game this year where You know, you've let up a huge run in the second half, you know, to the Whip Snakes earlier this season. As a team, like, what can you do, you know, to kind of stop the opposing team's runs and kind of regain, you know, momentum going your way?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just taking a breath and getting back to our principles and what we do best. You know, you can feel like you're kind of on the ropes in this league if, you know, they hit a 2 ball and they get a few in a row. So, you know, it's an extremely fast-paced league. You can't really slow down the tempo, but to the best you can, you know, you got to value the ball and stay aggressive on offense. And then, you know, on defense, you just got to give them, you know, the shots that we want to give them. You know, you have the best goalie in the world behind us. You know, he's going to make elite stops. So, it's just about locking in and communicating and stopping the run, you know, when it comes. Because you know at some point every team's going to go on a little bit of a run. You just want to make it a 1-goal or a 2-goal run instead of a 4 or 5-goal run.
Any other questions on Zoom? Anyone else in the room?
Dana, this one's for you. What's it like being, you know, back in a stadium where you've gotten to play so many games, and what kind of special feeling was it getting to play here again?
Yeah, it's always awesome coming back to Peter Barton Stadium and DU. This place has meant so much to me over the years, and my family, you know, the Alumni Association is still extremely close. It's like kind of my home away from home, so I love coming back here and playing at Peter Barton and, you know, playing under that golden spire. So I think every time the PLL comes back here, which, you know, is always a great game, great environment. I think some of the best fans in the world. It's always special for me.
Thank you both. Appreciate the time. Coach Jared, Eric, congrats on the win. We'll start with
Wells.
and Wells, yes. We'll start with opening thoughts from each of you and then take questions.
Well, these are a lot more fun when you win. Yeah, it's a tale of 2 days, tale of two halves. I'm really proud of our guys. I mean, we looked super sluggish in the first half and made some mental errors. They were tired, and then they found another gear in the second half, and that's a really good team and two really good goalies, and that was one of the best games I've ever been a part of.
Yeah, I think, just make it quick, I think it could have been easy to kind of fold it in. And I think it just speaks to the guys just mentally coming back, the second half, just not giving up and, just sticking out. So, kudos to all the teammates and whatnot.
What a impressive win. I think so much credit needs to go with Logan and net, and then not only that, but man, our D middies of Terry, Jack Ray, and Zach Geddes, man, those guys are workhorses. It's not easy to play one game, let alone 2 games, in what feels like 12 hours. Those guys turned around, and the way that we play of pushing the ball up and down, you see guys like Jake Casino. I mean, those guys are going to be gassed, but those guys were the ones that got the juice going. And Terry making that play where he's diving for a ground ball, we get it, we get a big goal, and that kind of started the momentum going. And man, what a special place this is, and I'm just so thankful to Coach Sudan and the rest of the guys for welcoming me in for one last go at this. So awesome to leave Peter Barton on a win.
Questions?
Ryan from Denver Sports Betting. Congrats on that win, guys. It was an amazing game. Coach, what was said at halftime? Because lit up fire under these guys. It flipped a switch. Like, that second half was amazing.
Our captains took control early, and it was kind of the same message that we were going to bring. But, when you're tired and, like, we were sluggish, we were a step behind everything in the first half, and it was all about, you can't make excuses. You can't feel sorry for yourself. Just, we're in this game now, and, my message is more, hey, let's run more with our feet and not with our mouths. You get feeling sorry for yourself a little bit, and then you're yelling at the officials, and you're worried about every call. And there was none of that at the end of the game. After that one play Terry made, and then we went down and scored, like it was a tale of 2 halves. So I'm proud of the guys. It's amazing. This was a great win.
Coach Matt with USA Lacrosse. With Jake, he had unleashed a bunch of 2-point attempts up until that point. When he got that one in the fourth, was that a no, yes kind of moment for you?
I don't think so. I think guys love playing for us because we're really not the no kind of guys, and as a staff, and we let them do what they do and just hope that they make high IQ plays. And he does a good job of just not throwing it stick side high, and it was awesome. Like that turned a lot of things around, and no is the answer.
Eric, JB, this is for you guys. I'm Dre for the Drelax podcast. So, Eric, going back to what you said about this place just being special, and JB, you had the game winner. What did it feel like today? Like, how would you describe today if you had to put it to words?
It's electric. It was a little quiet there for the first little bit of the game, and when you get into professional lacrosse or professional sports and the whole crowd's for one team, it's energizing when that crowd gets going. So, like I said, those energy plays that Terry made, and when that crowd got rocking there, especially late into the third, early in the fourth quarter, I don't know if you guys felt it, but it was an extra momentum boost that you get. And, I'm biased, but I think that Denver and Colorado sports fans are some of the best out there, that we support our teams through and through. It's tough to put into words. Driving to the stadium today, I realized, this is year 21 that I've been doing of coming and playing at this stadium for, competitive lacrosse and playing this kids game, and how lucky am I to get to do this in front of those incredible fans and family, and now my son. It's special.
Yeah, I mean, Elog, I think he said it. Everybody's looking at the game winner, but I think it's all those little plays that maybe don't show up on, the score sheet and that go unnoticed. The fans maybe miss that stuff, but we see it, and it like I said, it gave us that juice, it gave us that momentum, and we definitely use that. So, and then to Elaw's point, I mean, I just met him, but just to hear the passion, for this place and to go out there and get a win for him, and like that's, it just gives me chills. So super pumped that we were able to do that.
Eric and JB, so this Taylor with Denver Sports Betting. After the tough game last night, after the tough first half, you guys come back in the second and have the sudden death. What's the vibe like in the locker room? What's the vibe for you guys traveling now to Boston? Are you guys leaving on a high note after such an impressive win and sudden victory like that?
We're off. We don't play in Boston, but just testing you there, make sure you know your stuff. But I think it's good. Just like I said, just again, everything. There's going to be ups and downs, and it's how you react to it. Like I said, we could have easily just folded it in, like things weren't going our way. But like you said, it's not the guys. That's not their mentality. So. To come out in the second half and said get those juice plays and come out with the win, like that's big, especially going down the road. It's not going to be easy. It's only going to get harder.
I think Mike Manley made a great point in the locker room that these doubleheader weekends, they're tough on your body, but there's nothing better than coming off a loss, and then being able to turn around in a short amount of time and just kind of rewrite what you thought that you did wrong the day before. Obviously, we didn't start the way that we would have liked, but man, to show the grit, the fight, the never doubt mentality of this team, it was pretty special just to see it in the locker room. Even there wasn't a single guy that had their head down, doubted that we were capable of coming back and winning this game. It was the same message of chaos did it to us yesterday, now it's our turn to go do it to them. So I think that also comes from the coaching staff's mentality, like you said, of kind of never those moments of like no, yes. It's kind of just they put the trust in the guys, and it filters throughout everybody on the team, and you can see when guys are playing with confidence, and especially for that 6 weeks time that they were playing, guys were playing with so much confidence and playing free, and I think we got a little bit away from that last night, but then you saw it as soon as that fourth quarter hit, game on the line, guys want the ball on their stick and they want to make that play for their teammates.
Questions on Zoom? Chris?
Yeah, hey, Eric. We spoke pretty much right around this time last year regarding kind of the feel of sort of hosting this event, being a Denver native such as yourself. You kind of mentioned there was an added sort of level of almost stress, kind of having all the eyes on you and everything like that. Did you feel that this time around it was a little more a casual approach, having gone through it previously as kind of the sort of home host?
I think no matter when you're the host, no matter what the city is, but if you're the host team, there's definitely a little bit of added emphasis to those weekends. I mean, you want to put on a good show in front of the fans that you're calling home and give them a good product that then they're proud of to support. You only get 2 chances. It's not like leagues, unfortunately, till now, that you get multiple weeks to be able to kind of put on a show. You just get 2 games in 2 days. So I think that's around the board for around the league. Everyone puts these home weekends and really emphasizes the importance of not showing out, but putting a good product on the board and trying to do everything you can to get into the community. Brennan and Pat, I think they went around everywhere in Colorado and signed probably 1 million autographs and, going to Outlaws games. But that's what it's about, right? It's getting into the community and making your presence known so people get that community feel with you, and then they're much more likely to come out support in the future. So, it's always been one of my favorite parts about playing professional lacrosse is being in the community and showing your face and building those relationships with people that are in the crowd, because when you actually have that connection with someone other than just them knowing your face from playing on the field, but actually kind of know who you are as a person off the field, it's even more special and even more long-lasting relationships for those fans that are then going to be lifelong fans of the sport no matter where it goes.
Kyle?
Yeah, Jared, I know, your free agency was a big build-up, and you chose the Denver Outlaws ultimately to come out here in the tail end of this homecoming and, cash in that game winner in front of these home fans. what does that, mean to you? And what's that feeling like when you hear that crowd erupt, knowing that this was the market, this was the team that you chose to play for?
Yeah, it's awesome. Like I said, to feel that energy, everyone's into it, and it's great, to call this place our home. And just obviously choosing the Outlaws, everything, it was, what I thought it was going to be, just the guys in the locker room. And that, to me, it's huge. Like I said, I want to go in and be accepted and enjoy going every weekend. And said the guys have been great, the coaches have been great. So, the season has been, it's been really good.
Topher?
Coach, now that you guys clinched the 1 seed in the West, it's going to be a month till you guys get to play again in the semifinals. What's that approach of this month for you guys to keep yourselves mentally ready and able to compete in the playoffs in a couple weeks?
Yeah, we'll probably give them a week off, relax, and heal the bodies up, and then we'll start with probably some Zoom calls. And we're going to be able to have, during the Minnesota weekend, we're going to have a practice, which would be Friday night, Saturday morning, and then back out somewhere in the Northeast. So we're looking forward to that. And, game planning towards situational stuff that might come up in the playoffs, and, having the time to actually kind of walk through, and, it'll be less hectic for us. So I think that's going to be a perfect situation for us. That'll be a week before we play, and we'll get the guys kind of dialed back in.
Adam?
Coach, Jake Pacino has 12 points on the year now. That's the most since Michael Earhart in 2019. He only had 2 points in his rookie season. Like, what do you credit most to, kind of his rise in production this year, and just what have you seen from him from a growth standpoint from year 1 to year 2?
I think he just grew up a little bit. Like, his beard's much longer. I think that helps him. He's playing a much different role this year for us, where he's on the field all the time. Like, anytime he can go, he goes. And he had a lot less opportunities last year because he didn't play like settled 6-on-6 stuff, where we had another LSM going in. So I think, talking to him in the offseason, and I see him in Rochester, and, he kind of bust his chops a little bit. And we knew we were going to get what we're getting out of him now. Last year when we drafted him, we just hoped a little bit more that it was going to happen last year. But I think he's settled in, and he feels great. And, it's not just that stuff that he does really well. He's just a monster on ground balls, and he might be the best trail checker in the league. That's not a great. But, some of the stuff that he comes up with is outstanding, and, he's a great guy, and, I'm really happy for him, and he helped us win tonight, so that's awesome.
Kyle?
Yeah, Coach, today Luke Weirman, 14 of 26 at the stripe for you guys, going up against Trevor Baptiste. How pivotal was it, to just have him locked in against one of the sport's greatest to ever do it, and be able to get those possessions for you guys throughout a long game, obviously coming off the game last night too, and just seeing how Luke battled and never wavered?
I think he's a warrior. I think that's one of the reasons we picked him up. I think one of the things that, in doing our research about him prior to picking him up, was like, who's going to be the best guy? And, the comments that came out of the Maryland camp was simply he adjusts better than anybody, and he's an athlete. He's not just a face-off guy. And, it was a battle of two really good face-off guys. I'm glad he got the better of him. That was great.
Adam?
Yeah, question for Jared. You guys had 63 shots this game, which I believe is the most by a squad this season. Just what makes your offense so dynamic in terms of being able to generate shots?
Yeah, I think we got a lot of guys that can do a lot of different things. Just, again, we're trying to just be consistent, just come out. Sometimes it's good, and sometimes we're not doing what we're talking about doing. But and I don't think guys are they're not trying to be selfish. We have a lot of unselfish dudes. But like I said, I think just coming out and trying to be consistent, week in and week out.
last questions?
Eric, this one's for you. Going back to last year, you had a really special relationship with Brennan, and it's very apparent as well with the attack that you have a special relationship with those guys. How's it been seeing Brennan and Wiz and a lot of those guys like step up and really take a much bigger role this year?
Yeah, you could just see, Brennan especially, his confidence is gained so much. I think he believes what he can do now, and I think he's still only scratching the surface of what he can be as a player, which is scary. See a couple of the goals that he has of the placement of shots. It's really impressive, but I think he still has so much more that he's just going to keep continuing, keep growing, and keep learning. I've seen a big jump in his IQ of his passing abilities this year. I've been really impressed with. Pat. I think Pat loves being back in his natural position of attack and kind of being able to float around where he wants. You can see that he's super confident. But man, it's fun watching attack move the way that they do. If there's anything I can ever do for those guys, I've just been texting as much as I can with Pat and those guys of just giving them confidence, because man, it's as a fan, when you're sitting back at home and watching those guys play, it's fun when it's that free flowing, and you can tell that guys like playing in this offense because it is so free flowing, and you're going to get your opportunities. It's not just going to be one look and done type of thing. It's every single guy is going to be able to kind of eat in this offense, and it's going to be really fun to watch Pat and Brennan and Wiz and Jared. Their relationships just keep growing, that chemistry keep going from year after year. So this team still has so much more that they can get out of it, and I'll be the biggest cheerleader cheering them on.
Thank you all. Congrats and enjoy the win.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.